Alright, we are here for the second half of the Asian prospects. It's really keeps throwing me off. It's because I never actually changed the name of the championship from prospects to promotionals. I'm not even sure if that would have fit. I don't remember what the character limit is. Anyway, we'll start with Monza, and then we go to Nürburgring, Barcelona, and end with the Highlands circuit. An interesting finale, to say the least. So I expect to see more of what we've already seen up to this point. The Lamborghinis and the 12C probably will do pretty well at Monza. And they'll probably do well at the Highlands too, although Barcelona and Nürburgring are a bit more of a wild card in that way, in that the vehicles with better handling. Example being, say, Ishii or Hunar, probably will do better at Barcelona than it can do at Monza. We are at the starting grid for Monza, and well, the top vehicles will have some work to do. Trying to get something like oriented. There we go. Yeah, they'll have a bit of work to do. They start 8th, 9th, and 12th. Hiroto Karagi is in an okay spot to capitalize on the poor starting grid position for Kawashimi. However, he will not be able to do that so much for Mei, who starts only a couple spots back. And me and Adhira are not going to have a great time here. I'd be surprised if either of us score. I still laugh at the fact that this game has the Indianapolis 500 pace car, but the Indianapolis racetrack's not here. Whoops. As well as ever, they're going too wide through the first chicane. Looks like Yatsuba is going to maintain the lead. Hiroto already is overtaken Amari, probably before they even got to the first turn. Let's be real here. Don't need to go over there. Well, Ling is already working her way up towards 4th. I think she will be 4th by the time we get out of the chicane. No, she won't. Better cornering from that Alpha 155 will keep Mei at bay for one turn. How about the next one? Gets the inside for this one, and this time Mei does make the pass. Ishii is also not going to do great here. Possibly even worse than myself or Amari will be doing. Amari getting overtaken by Hoang in the GT40. The GT40 is sort of the weird middle ground. It doesn't have the worst top speed. It's slightly faster than the Group A's and the Lotus, but it doesn't have the top speed to keep up with anything else that that isn't me, Amari, or Ishii. Hitori is making no progress whatsoever. Meanwhile, Kawashimi and Ganyu are drag racing down towards the last corner. Ganyu has clearly been run into at least once during the race already, based on all the scratches on the back bumper. As to who did that, well, there it is. GT40 always a little bit aggressive under brakes. Karagi has a run on Josiah Montel, and that's a pretty easy pass. Montel not really done yet, and manages to stave off the other Nissan driver. goes Ganyu, scorching ahead of me. Amari not very far into the future on that. I think because I've been passed fewer times and I've spent less time being passed, I'm therefore beginning to catch Adhira. Kawashimi has decided that that's not how this is going to work and just spins me out completely. I managed to keep the car on the racetrack though, despite her effort. That won't earn you very many brownie points if you wreck one of the 3 league owners in your debut championship. And, well, that's, you know, was hardly any doubt there. Wu Ling is going to attempt to pass the GTR, who has not been able to pass the R8 and is therefore losing a considerable amount of time. In Wu Ling's inability to complete that pass, she's also allowed Hoang Fan to catch up to her. I don't think the GT40 has enough top speed to deal with it though. Fukai's next conquest will be Amari. Should be pretty easy once they draw alongside. Nitori might get there before the corner. No, not anymore. She's gonna have to send it anyway. Ganyu has now caught GT40. And no effort to pass just yet. The top 6 are painfully evenly spread out. There is literally nothing happening up here. Won't be long before Kawashimi is also joining this train, I don't think. Nitori should be able to pass the Alfa Romeo before we get to the next set of turns. Keyword, should. Yeah. Although Adhira does try to outbrake the Lamborghini, being a DTM car, she can kind of get away with braking later. It's like the one small advantage that they have. They're like a defensive option, pretty much. Well, Ling was once again close, but also made the wrong set of decisions. Kawashimi is going to attempt to pass Ganyu, who's now being held up by the GT40, and that will succeed. Kawashimi is then going to follow that up and, you know, actually pass the GT40. But take her not be able to get super far ahead like I think we both expected. Hoang defends, and Ganyu's had enough of that. She's gonna go in anyway. Kawashimi with a fast lap, despite spending the last couple of turns stuck behind these two. Nitori finally overtakes via 155. Jeremy Scott's could not follow her through. Actually, I think he tried, but Amari was braver on acceleration out of the chicane. He elects to not try again at all into the second chicane. Never mind that. Yes, he does. But I don't think it's going to get him anywhere. Kawashimi's next target is to 458. kind of looking like they're starting to fall off pace a little. As through some series of events, Kawashimi's up to 4th place. Ganyu will now finally take this opportunity and very easily clear the GT40. I think Martel was slowed down by the GTR ahead, and that allowed the GTR behind to take advantage. All-wheel drive benefit for the R8, trying to keep it ahead of the Gallardo out of the chicane, but nothing. And I'm sure Montel wishes that this were a 4-lap race. Kawashimi sends it on Karagi now. At this point, it appears as though her mindset is to heck with graduating. I want to win the championship now. Ganyu is into 6th. She's got half a lap to make up possibly a place or two, but I'm not really convinced that'll happen. The 12C seems to lack the handling that the cars ahead of it has. Wo Ling is going to just pile on displeasure for Josiah Montel, possibly get ahead at the last gasp here. I can just about see more pressure from Kawashimi on the GTR. Montel forces Wo Ling off, and Kawashimi is going to end up taking 2nd away down the final straightaway. Wang Fan will suddenly get into the picture, and also try and steal 5th away from Montel, which he will do that. As soon as Karagi passed, that opened the floodgates, and everybody came screaming by that R8 on the last lap. Ganyu will take only 7th place in a race where I figured that car would be the easy winner, like it had been 3 of the last 4 races. Jeremy Scotts will take the final point, although he was still unable to find a way around the 155 within the confines of the race distance. So that's narrowed things down quite a bit between all parties. It's worth pointing out that the Challenge Series, what's it called? Like, the individuals that, like, you know, me, Gina, and Nitori, we do have executive orders. We can basically deny a driver that made the top 3 if they do a bunch of egregious driving. Like, if they get into the top 3 in points, but, like, say they wrecked the person that was 3rd before them. Like, you know, say last race scenario. Think of, like, how there was one Tier D race, but one of the 2 years, Tier D, came down to the last race, and Hikari wrecked Thomas O'Reilly, which should have made him the points champion. But the game undid that. It's something like that. If that happened here, if, like, Karagi and Wo Ling are fighting for the last spot in the bubble, more or less, if they're fighting to make 3rd, and, like, one absolutely wrecks the other to get their way into the top 3, we can just decide, yeah, no, you don't make it, and give it to 4th. Or if they just had like a kill streak of wrecks going, like if somebody wrecked, like, say, more than 2 people or more than like 3 or 4 people in the course of the 8 race championship, I don't think they would be allowed in if they made it to the top 3 after all of that. And notably too, if there's a certain driver that we like a lot, be it just because we like them or think it would be an interesting story, or if, like, you know, they drove very well for having a weaker vehicle. Although I don't think that part would really happen. The only one that could really come close to doing that would be Hoang Pham. He's 50 years old. He's driving like one of the worst vehicles. He's not driving the worst though. And he's doing pretty well in it. He just took 6th there. Though the thing is, Jeremy Scott is also doing almost as good in the same vehicle, so it's really hard to say that that would be like a fair thing to do. So I think the only way that we'll ever probably end up enforcing those executive decisions is if a driver causes a lot of wrecks. Which we haven't really had any. We've had like one. Well, we've had one full wreck. There was Kawashimi almost doing it to me during that race, but I managed to keep the car straight. So I don't really know if I'd count that as... Though it is me, so if it happened again... Or if it did happen to me, so if they did that again... Or especially if they did it to me again, then I'd be throwing the book at them. Well, I believe in Lamborghini supremacy, and so do the starting grid gods. Starting grid gods are just a running gag at this point. They don't actually exist. Just to clarify, the 2 Kawa drivers are on the front row. I think the main driver that really benefits from the starting grid, though, would actually, other than Fukai, would probably be Yatsuba, who is getting closer to the battle for 3rd between Mei and Hiroto. She does start ahead of both of them, so she can close in a tiny bit on Mei, and assuming Hiroto doesn't make a lot of passes during the race, Mei just straight up overtake him in points. Either way, it should certainly shorten the gaps between the two. Also, Ganyu starts dead last. She's very lucky that she has such a cushion between her and everyone else. Does Kawashimi have an answer for new terrain to the first turn? I'm thinking no, but we'll have to see still. Oh, she does. Slam Montel got a better start than Yotsuba. Does she do anything to remunerate? Yeah, that inside line is pretty powerful here through turn 2. In low downforce vehicles, it's kind of hard to stick the outside there. Maybe somebody like Ishir or Mari could do it, but not the R8. Manuel Ling tried to challenge after Montel's failed attempt to take 3rd away, but ultimately scores nothing. Hiroto passed Mari already. A small victory, but a victory. Ganyu is already back into the points positions, gating around both Ishir and myself. And I'm gonna go and try and pass Ishir. The 211 has better cornering though. The 190E I think is by far the worst car in this category. It has nowhere near enough handling that the 211 has, nor does it have enough handling, it doesn't even have the handling that 155 has. It also doesn't have the same power that the 211 has, and the 211 isn't really that fast in a straight line, but it's still, I think, marginally better at acceleration at the very least than the 190E. I just like the rear wing, and I also really like the design on this particular livery because it's blue, and it has my actual number, 71. There's a Mercedes AMG that also has 71, but I don't really know, I don't think I used that. The Lamborghinis have gotten pretty far away from the competition. Then again, everyone's kind of spreading out. Kuragi has overtaken May in a very crucial overtake that is. They're not very many points apart in the standings right now, so this is pretty much the battle for making it to the Challenge Series. There is no special name for the top division, by the way. It is literally just called the Challenge Series at the top level. Kuragi were a little bit cold feet. You had a little bit of cold feet there as you went into T1. You're lucky that we're not in Tier E or Tier S, or you'd probably would have paid for that. We had Garnier was overtaken one GT40, but Jeremy Scott's manages to hold off the onslaught by sticking on the outside, miraculously so. I think that's delaying the inevitable, if I'm perfectly honest, but I mean, yeah, go and show off, Jeremy. Now, that's not what you wanted, I don't think. Too bad it doesn't matter because it's the 12C versus a GT40 in a straight line. This isn't no Gran Turismo 2. Never mind, DeFam doesn't care for my stipulations. He's gonna try and finish the pass anyway. He did. Wow, alright. Garnier, where'd your momentum go? I mean, you're pretty much locked in either way. I think you literally have too much of a points lead to actually fall out of the top 3. So as long as you keep it clean from here and at least score 1 point per race, I think you'll be fine. But it's still just like, what the heck? This doesn't seem like the same person that won 3 out of the first 4 events. You're letting... Oh my god, the AI sometimes in this game. The 2 Lamborghinis are still pretty much nose to tail, but they're probably a good 6 seconds ahead of 3rd place. I often forget how long this track is. I keep thinking to myself, oh, it's like a high 50s lap, right? No, it's not. It's 2 minutes 15. Krog is gonna try for bonus points on Josiah. Don't think he'll get much out of it though. Montel really butchered that corner, but it doesn't matter. Walk up from Fam. Those old brakes aren't doing him any favors. And she got back past the first GT40. Second GT40 now puts an Alfa Romeo between the two of them. Though I think once we reach the front straightaway, that shouldn't be a very difficult maneuver for the McLaren to do. You've got like 200 some more horsepower. Horsepower. Certain something like Donut Media and those like pers. Still a stalemate of a race. Like, there's this beautiful chicane here that you can use as a passing zone, and the AI just literally never do it. Literally, they never do. Kawashimi really seems complacent to just sit here in second. Karagi's gonna try again. Probably get the same results if he even gets that far this time. I don't think he'll even get that far. No. He went through the corner worse than he did the last try. At this point, just hang on to 5th. I feel like this always becomes a dynamic at the Nürburgring. There's always that one AI that should be ahead of somebody, where they just keep falling into the same pattern of failing to make that pass over and over and over again. They never pay for it because there aren't any passing zones after the first couple of corners. But they just, like... I don't know, they just never seem to actually... There's no reason Karagi's not in 4th yet. There simply is no reason. If the AI weren't AI, this pass would have been done a long time ago. Instead, now he's gonna do this and give Will Link basically an open invitation. Please, overtake me, I deserve it. Which May apparently just didn't realize that that was the case. We've only got one more lap left of this seemingly endless loop of bad driving decisions, but oh my god, that's like the only saving grace of this whole thing. Ganyu got around Adhira and is attempting to get around the GT40 the very hard way, might I add. That's not really the normal passing zone there. Almost gave 8th back to Amari, but luckily she's in a 12C. And that's at 155, so no real shot of that. Kawashimi's pace is faltering. I almost said face is paltering. That doesn't make any sense. She's beginning to fall very far behind Kawashiro after that particularly not very good 2-minute 16 lap compared to Nitori's 2:15 flat. Is she getting complacent? Maybe. This time Karagi is attempting to be under pressure from the Ferrari, and that won't get her anywhere either. It is, turn 1 is very much a case of Schrodinger's passing zone. Since the AI never try and take the outside, which is actually the better place to be, because then you get the inside for the next 2 corners, and going around the outside of the hairpin isn't actually that hard. But the AI don't know that, so they'll never do it, and therefore they'll probably never pass at turn 1 unless there's a really big difference in car speed. I think Ganyu has run out of opportunities to make this pass on the GT40, because the AI never want to make passes through the next chicane, and I don't know, there's no way you out-drag it for the finish line, because it's really close to the end of the corner here. And you're letting off before you reach the kink, like a fool, because they don't seem to think there's any room there. There definitely is. Nitori takes a commanding victory. Ended up getting quite a few seconds ahead of Kawashimi, winning the race by 4 seconds, and, well, we'll have to see the exact number, but I estimate about 19-20 seconds ahead of 3rd for Nitori. Okay, almost 16.5, not even close. Karagi will take 5th and somehow finish ahead of Mei, which is vaguely important for him if he wants to make it to the top 3. I'm now definitively last. Nitori only 2 points away from the points lead. Kawashimi another point behind that. And it's a tie for the final spot in the top 3 in Challenge Series terms. Or, you know, the promotion slots. Right now it would be Ganyu, Fukai, and both of them. There's no tiebreakers, so we could have both, you know, if there's a tie for third, both drivers make it. Another good race for Yotsuba could put her in that contest as well. There's no limit to tiebreakers either. If there's like a 4-way tie for third, we have 6 people getting promoted. That's super unlikely, obviously. I'd be surprised if we have any tie at all for third. But let's get into Barcelona, another track that's historically not great for passing. But, you know, the starting grid mixes things up on its own, so usually we just rely on that. So let's see what cards it will deal here. Well, we are here on the starting grid for Barcelona, and the game has definitely dealt Ganyu a winning hand. Should be able to take her points lead back pretty well because, well, Nitori is way down here. Yotsuba not looking great to make her way into, like, the fight for third. Hiroto starts many places ahead. Kawashimi's not in a terrible spot. She does have to get ahead of 2 people to get near them. I might become a weird progress barrier, but I don't think I'll be the leader into 1. Just a hunch. Even with Ganyu's terrible start, she's still gonna get miles ahead of me before we get to turn 1. Anyone else follow suit? Kuragi will. Maybe. I'm going to brake incredibly late because I can do that in a car with handling, or with downforce, with handling. Fam got a real good jump. Got ahead of Kawashimi, and might do the same on Amari before we get to the next turn, but that was the weirdest looking corner I've ever seen. I think that pass has been made. He almost snuck it in there on Hiroto as well. Oh, never mind. Adhira's not done yet. Is she done now? It appears so. Takane is going to follow Hoang through, ahead of the Alfa Romeo. Woling was absolutely lost in the sauce on that start, going from 7th to 10th. Meanwhile, Takane is up 3 spots. Fam up 2, and obviously Ganyu up 1 because she took the lead away from me. I have, however, broken away from Hiroto for the moment. Oh my goodness, Jeremy. Where did you come from and where did you go? It's a huge move for him, considering he started 10th. He's up to 5th. GT40 seem to be gelling pretty well with this track. Fam takes 3rd away from Kuragi. Ganyu is in the next time zone. Things have definitely spread back out. I think we pretty much got our semi-definitive running order. Jeremy Scott decided to throw that out the window and sends it on Kuragi. You have to get up pretty early in the morning to get a pass done like this on the GTR when you're driving a car like his, but that doesn't seem to stop him. He's up to 4th. He's behind the other GT40 driver, who, mind you, started 4 places ahead of him. going has overtaken me. Fukai has gotten around Natsubo. Mei is barely hanging on to points, period. Only sitting in 10th right now. She has made herself an opening for 9th though, and she's gonna sneak right in there. This really is a track for the GT40s. Now Scott's has gotten ahead of me. I don't think Hoang will be catching up to the 12C though. Just an idea, just a thought. And there goes Kawashimi on Kuragi and then on me. Do you have the facilities for that? I don't think you do. Like, in my case, it's not a statement. It's, do you have the facilities for that? Again? Seriously? You got a problem with me, Kawashimi? She finally just goes ahead of me. My left earbud is vibrating when I talk, and it's kind of throwing me off. My god. And he was scorching the track. Clearly, she heard what I was saying at the Nürburgring, and was just kind of like, is that a challenge? Running 4 seconds faster than everybody else on the track. Or, no, 3, not 4. I'm done. I did say I'd probably make myself out to be a bit of an obstruction. And I didn't for the first few, but I'm definitely getting in Hiroto's way big time. I don't know if it'll be of any real detriment to him, though. There's not really any way of knowing that, because, well... Actually, no, I already have been. Because he's been passed by a couple of cars already. Very, yeah, definitely one of the races we've ever had. I mean, the first half was pretty interesting, but now we've pretty much gotten ourselves arranged. Here comes Fukai trying to take third, but instead Jeremy is going to try and take second, which will prevent her from doing anything, and Scots will do precisely that. He's like, alright, we're not catching the leader, but I'll be darned if I'm getting caught by that Lambo. Thing is, because it's the same exact car behind Hiroto, it's just another GTR, I don't know if he'll get passed by anybody else. If he does, it's not going to be by Yatsuba, it's going to be by probably Nitori. What's the deficit here? I know, 16 seconds. It'll be like 19 before the end of the race. Here's the Lambo. Fam's not done yet. He's gonna try and force it on the outside through 3, but he's not gonna get that too far. And Nitori has gotten around Yotsuba. Can she pass the other GTR in the same motion? No. May is going to finally try and pass for 9th, and will not succeed. Not yet, anyway. There's still one more chance. 2 more chances. Okay, never mind. You're going to try into turn 5. Not the usual spot, but it's worked, I guess. Kawashimi is right there as we head towards the hairpin for the last time. Will she sneak away second at the last possible second? She's certainly going to try, but the GT40 is too aggressive under braking for that. Nitori could not force a move into the hairpin, so I think we have a running order pretty much. So I was wrong. Ganyu is going to win by a landslide. Let's just see what the damage is here for how much he just won by. 19.3 seconds over Jeremy Scott's. Jeremy Scott's, mind you, who started 10th. As we head into the last race. Well, Ganyu and Fukai are locked in to the top 3. It's still theoretically a battle for the championship, although that's a formality more than anything else. I mean, yeah, it's great to establish, hey, look, I won the promotional championship, but you don't need to win to advance. You need top 3. Or in this case, top 4, because Nitori is 3rd. And that's not changing. She's going to be at least 3rd, no matter what. She could still win the championship if Ganyu does terribly and scores like 10th or worse. Same thing for Kawashimi. If it's not a podium for Ganyu, I guess I redeem myself after the last 2 races I've had. I've now almost caught the bottom few. If Jeremy Scott's were to win and Hiroto scored nothing, then he would be the 3rd place driver, theoretically. Or he could be. But it is only 4 points between Hiroto, Mei, and Yotsuba, so those 3 are all within a pretty good shot to take the last spot. And again, if there's a tie for 3rd, they both make it in. Well, this is an interesting starting grid. Victory might honestly be able to steal this. It's not impossible. It's not likely. Because all Ganyu's got to do is get 8th place, and the championship will be hers. And obviously, Nitori also has to win the race, and she doesn't start technically on pole. She's ultimately starting 3rd, because I have a feeling that both the GTRs are going to get away better than her. Which, to be honest, if that happened, and it was pretty much a battle for the championship, between the 2 leaders, or not the battle for the championship. If those 2 were to fight it out, and they either tie and both make it, or Hiroto makes it, that would be pretty climactic. I think Yotsuba's the one that's 4 points off, though, so actually Nitori needs to finish ahead of Hiroto for that to work for her. Or basically, doesn't matter where Yotsuba finishes, she needs to finish at least 2 positions ahead of Hiroto to win. Or, I keep saying win. You don't win. You just advance. You promote. There we go. That's the word. Start the darn race. Well, I'm dead wrong. Nitori got a better start than both of them, despite being not in a GTR. Though, Hoang did get ahead of Hiroto off the jump in the GT40, a vehicle infamous for its terrible grid starts. So Yatsuba need only make sure that she keeps this GT40 in between her and Hiroto, and she will be the one that gets promoted, and not him. The way that GT40 is driving, though, that may be difficult. Really, he almost tried to pass there, that would have been ridiculous. It'd be kind of funny if it worked, but it would have been really outlandish. This is a weird 567. It's all the cars that shouldn't be near the front at all. Oh, May's getting in the picture. I forgot she was actually kind of fighting for this too. Same thing goes. May has to finish ahead of both of them though. Okay, so if May Willing overtakes Spam here, that still means Yatsuba makes it. Because that's 12 points to Yatsuba and 10 to May now. But there's only 1 point between them. So if May doesn't overtake Yatsuba for the end of the race, then actually, is it Yatsuba or Yosuba? I don't honestly know. Because I know TSU in Japan usually ends up the T is silent, like tsunami. I'm not sure. I'll be honest, I named the driver after a character from something else. And then I looked at that name and I was like, that's a really weird name. Speaking of really weird, I thought May was going to try and go on the outside there. It almost worked, not quite. Hiroto has not managed to get around the GT40. Does the GT40 have a response? Yeah, he does! Oh my god. He has a little more than a response. He about has a wreck. Ganyu, meanwhile, is too busy battling with Kawashimi to try and take 8th away. Kawashimi is basically playing spanner in the works right now. Because with Nitori where she is, there's no way that Fukai can win the championship. But she can certainly keep Ganyu from doing it, even though it's really a formality at this point. The real place that the camera should stay is in the top 5. May draws somewhat up alongside the GTR, nothing, backs out, waits for the long straightaway that's coming up in a few minutes. It's like at the end of this corner. What am I talking about? What are you talking about? Does the 458 have a better top speed than the GTR? It kinda doesn't look like it. Will Ganyu overtake the R8? Yeah, pretty easily. Can Ganyu overtake me? No, because I'm gonna try and overtake the Lotus ahead. Well, I was playing Wrench in the Works, trying to give Nitori the championship. That didn't work. Ganyu stormed ahead of me. Oh, Ganyu almost tagged that wall, too. That would have been hilarious, bad. I laugh at misfortunes of virtual people. Well, as things stand right now, it would be Ganyu, Fukai, and Yasuba Honestly, it's my character, ultimately, because it's not her actual last name. That's a different last name completely. I don't actually remember the last name of the actual character I based it off of, for those who are in the know of, it's named after, I can just explain the story. It's kind of a funny story. And I'll just... Suddenly, Hoang! Oh my god! And Yotsuba just hit the wall. Hoang with an absolutely gargantuan send into the first corner of the street segment. Oh yes, she got some damage, but that's not going to make a difference. This isn't an F1 car. There's nothing suspension related. That's the important part. That's the part you need to keep fine, and it's not broken. So... you need to keep not broken. Good one. That's the grass, May! How'd you keep that saved? How did you do that? I saw something happening back here, but there's not. Not yet. On the straightaway there might, because that's a 12C behind a bunch of cars with no horsepower. Yeah. This one may not work, though. It'll be interesting. On the power, yeah, that's a done deal. So Yotsuba is named after a character I discovered by a very weird series of events. Not very long ago. I want to say it was around a few months ago, like February, March. I got 2 random iPhone cases in the mail with little anime girls on them. I don't have an iPhone, I have a Samsung tablet, so they're pretty much useless to me. For whatever reason, we kept them in my room as a joke or something, I don't know. Maybe I would get an iPhone, who knows. I don't really know where they came from. I don't know why they got here. I'm only assuming that they got delivered to the wrong address. But that's the mail company's problem, not mine. At any rate, on a random Instagram meme I saw, like about a few weeks ago, or a month ago maybe. May's getting very close to making that pass. You could have said that. Oh, I also just realized, because Yotsuba's back in 3rd, and Hiroto's in 5th, they'll tie. Never mind, I'm dumb. Ganyu passed Hiroto. How did I not see an entire 3rd car there? What? Okay, Ricker. Okay, so never mind. Hiroto is no longer a part of this. It's down to if Ganyu doesn't play Disruptor here. Is May gonna get alongside here? Oh, she is. Yotsuba wanted to cut down on her, but didn't get the chance. Got a bit of grass on her tires, but she managed to stay ahead for the moment. Honestly, this track kind of feels like a Forza Horizon track. Side note. Totally unrelated to what's happening on your screen, but that's just kind of what made me think of it all of a sudden. Ganyu might hold back. She might just let these two decide it amongst themselves. I find that unlikely, but she might. Or if she can at least pass both of them at the same time and not interfere with their own battle. But doesn't seem like that'll be the case, though. Oh, she's letting off. May was already clearing a lane for Ganyu, but she didn't have to. Yeah, so on this random Instagram meme, I see a familiar-looking character, notably with a ribbon in her hair. I look up what shows were listed in this, or what show was being displayed, and there was a show called The Quintessential Quintuplets, a very recent slice of life anime. And the long and short of it is I eventually learned the character's name was Yasuba, and so I named this promotional challenge series driver after the random mystery anime girl on the back of 2 phone cases I didn't order. Well, one of the 2. The second phone case belonged to a significantly less good-looking character. I actually liked the way that Yasuba was designed. I didn't really like the way the other character was designed. So Nitori is going to take a pretty commanding win. Hoang will take an astounding 2nd place, although he did start 4th, but still, he's in a GT40. This car is not all that good. Now we're playing Interceptor, and Mei is going to maybe hang on to 4th, but Yotsuba will she will claim the podium. Mei will barely survive for 4th. Hiroto with crushing defeat at the last possible minute. And Ganyu will be the champion in this formality, more or less. Yeah, by 2 points. Tsuba Takane is going to make her way into the top 3. Hiroto missed by 2 points. Mei missing by 3 points. And there you go. But yeah, and it wouldn't be the weirdest thing for me to name a character after a show or game, because there's plenty of those. I mean, there's literally Nitori. Nitori is a video game character. We've been over this hundreds of times. I think everybody should know who this is by now, if they've known me for any length of time. Although there are other characters named after characters or real people. But unless it's explicitly stated, hey, this is this person, like, I'm a real person, obviously. Darius Bruel, or Gemini as I call him, that's a real person. I play Gran Turismo with him. Thrasher, Taylor, and Tyler are real people. And Cam, they're real people. They're my PlayStation Network friends. I think we're just gonna close the episode. And there'll be 2 more Twisted Invitational episodes I have to make, and then we'll get the European prospects, 2 more episodes of the Twisted Invitationals, and then we finally get to Challenge Series Year 3. So yeah, until then, yeet.